Hey everybody, been quite a while since I made a post, about a year and a half. I think the last one was when we went to the track in July of 2020. Anyway, since I got the motor in and the car all back together, put about 2,500 miles on the car. We did Power Tour in 2021, did about 1,000 miles on that. Everything was running good. Pretty happy with the car, but I want to make some changes, so that's what this video series is going to be about. Believe it or not, what I don't like about the car is the transmission, which is really kind of funny because I didn't change anything with the trans from when it was in there, from the trans that was in there with the previous motor. But there's been some chronic problems with it since day one that I want to try to fix. And with this thing behind a high revving LS motor, it's not the best shifting transmission with the way it is right now. So I'll give you a little detail on what I'm going to do. Here's the trans, it's out of the car already. Just a little reminder, I have a hydraulic throwout bearing clutch on this thing. This is a TKO600 and it was originally purchased from a company called Keisler Engineering. Keisler did, and I think they were the first ones to do it, is you can see that this shifter here, this is where the shifter mounts. And typically on a TKO, the shifter is center. You can mount it here, you can center it here, you can buy a mid-shift kit, center it up here if you want. What Keisler did was for retrofit into older cars is they made an offset shifter. Because of this offset shifter, they're not shifting it the way that it's really meant to shift on the shift rail, which is on the center. And it's never been the smoothest shifting transmission in the world. So the plan is to make it, turn it back into a center shifter, centered shifter transmission. So anyhow, that's what I'm going to do. I've never opened up a transmission before, so this is a first for me. This is a shifter that Keisler would do. They'd make some changes inside here in the tail shaft. The shifter would then bolt on here, and basically the transmission would be shifted from the side as opposed to straight down. But again, it allowed you to put it into stock location, which I've run it for years. I've had this trans since 2008, so it's been it's been a good trans. Just I want to make it better. These are the modifications that Keisler did. Again, typically the shifter comes in from the top and moves this rod back and forth from the top. They're actuating it from the side. They make this special little doohickey here. This piece, they mill out the side of the case right here for clearance for this, and they also mill down this surface by 1/4 of an inch. I need to make a spacer for this, and again, I can plug up this hole down here. This is dry. This does not have oil in it, so it's just a matter of putting in a little dust shield underneath here, which is what Keisler did. So not a big deal. The other option to do this is to buy a new tail shaft, which is like $350. I chose not to do that because it's $350. But I've bought some new parts that changes the shifting around here a little bit and also changes some things internal in the trans, and we'll go over that at that time when I have that stuff apart. So to get that back to a center shifter, get rid of all this offset stuff, I had to buy a new actuating rod, which goes in here, and then the cup for the shifter, which goes on that actuating rod. And then I can place the shifter to the back side or to the front side. You can see the two different cups. You have that option. And then to make it shift better, I got this here custom shaft, which I believe is going to go here on this side, along with this shifting actuator thing, which goes it goes under here. It's from the underside and goes basically on the end of this rod. I don't know what's custom about that, but it's supposed to help with that 2-3 shift that
is elusive at times. And then this rod is customized to help with that. Some sealing O-rings, some shift pads for the forks, and a bias spring in there. Now, along with this kit came some new synchros. So the remainder of the kit to help this thing shift better are these new synchros here. And what's different about these from the stock ones is you can see this black surface on the inside. I'm not sure what that is, but it's pretty grippy stuff. So what that helps is the synchros line up as you're shifting, they stop spinning, and they grip on the cones that are on the gears or the synchros. I'm not sure. I'm still trying to figure out all the terminology of this thing. I'll put information about where I got this stuff from a company called Liberty Gears in Michigan. They came recommended by Tremec, and for doing what I wanted to do. The whole thing was $300 some odd for this whole thing, along with the rear seal. I'm going to replace that too. And again, I'll put contact information for them. They're really great on the phone, so hopefully they continue that way to make sure I get this thing back together. For information on how to do this, I'm going to use two things. One is this here, which is a free download from Tremec. This is a TKO service manual, and I just printed it out. And then also, the best video series I could find online was from a place called the Gearbox Store, and they have a really good video for that. We need to remove the shift lugs. This is the 5th gear and reverse shift lug. This is 3rd and 4th gear shift lug, and this is the 1st and 2nd gear shift lug. The lugs are held in by wrist pins. You just need to get a pin driver and drive them out. The trick is to not pound the wrist pins in all the way till they drop down into the trans. Again, doesn't matter, I'm taking the whole thing apart, but so that one's out. There we go, that's the shift lug. There we go. See, that's where the pin stayed in the housing, which is nice. And now we can easily get the 3-5 or the 5 reverse out, and the pins in that one. Next step is to get the tail shaft off here. Alright, that's the last of the bolts for the tail housing. Now there's not a gasket that's in between here. They just use like a gasket sealer. So I'm going to just start pounding on this and see if I can get it to come off. Like I did on the covers, I'm going around here with the putty knife. Again, there's not a gasket in here. So I've just been working it back. You can see I've got it split here pretty good. It's all loose. There is a dowel pin on the bottom on this side. I'm going to guess there's a dowel pin on the top this side for locating this thing. Alright, there's the tail shaft. Found that wrist pin for the 1st, 2nd shift lug.